Hello and welcome to Global Flows. My name is Patrick Brady and I'm your host here at Global Flows. We like to um, look over some headlines for Global Flows and we look at the international trade, business, supply chain, and generally the things that are going out there in the world, the flows of people, money, exchanges, culture, and products. The first, oops, the first article we're going to look at from Wall Street Journal is "The Economy is Great. Why are Americans in such a rotten mood?" This one by Greg Eep. Okay. Despite the US economy showing strong recovery with a 3.8% unemployment rate and surpassing pre-pandemic economic projections, American sentiment remains gloomy. 69% believe the country is on the wrong path. And President Biden's economic approval ratings are quite low. Inflation concerns overshadow positive job market. While there's evidence pointing to high inflation as a primary cause for the pessimistic mood, this isn't entirely convincing. Although inflation rates have decreased from a peak of 9.1% to 3.7%, sentiment has only improved slightly. University of Michigan Sentiment Index indicates a disproportionate level of economic concern compared to the Misery Index. I can tell you, as a person living on the ground, that everyone that I know complains about inflation. I was just talking to a restaurant owner 2 days ago for a Mexican restaurant, and this gentleman is from Iran, and he was talking about sourcing their avocados and onions and tortillas and all the stuff that goes in. He said that a lot of materials are double what they were. So uh, staff is more expensive, products are more expensive. So I mean, obviously they pass along the cost to the consumer. When I look online, what used to be $11.99 meals are now $16.99. So I don't understand why it's hard for um, this article to understand why Americans are in such a rotten mood. The economy is good, unemployment rates are down, but frankly, you know, every expense across the board, from car insurance to home insurance to vegetables to everything, is at least 20% higher. So they cite a 9.1% to 3.7%, but at 9.1%, you're already increasing so high. And then 3.7 on top of that. Um, Frankly speaking, salaries cannot catch up with that level of increase. So this talks about a Starbucks coffee from $3 to, I can't find it, 3.75 or something like that. So everything's more expensive, and no wonder Americans are gloomy, think we're on the wrong track. And frankly, the administration um, is, they're frankly, they keep touting Bidenomics as if it's something that American people are happy about. And they're not. They keep harping on it, but I do not think it's working. Only 45% approve of Biden's handling of infrastructure, 42 of how he's bringing manufacturing jobs back to America. So, where's the good news? I don't know. When you're paying 20% higher for everything, then it's hard to see the good news. Moving on. This is an interesting article. U.S. real estate agents liable for $1.8 billion over broker fees on home purchases. Brokerage conspiracy verdict. The largest U.S. real estate agencies, including the NAR, National Association of Realtors, face a $1.8 billion penalty over a 7-year conspiracy to impose substantial commissions on home sellers for buyers' brokers. This has led to U.S. home sellers paying about 5 to 6% of the sale price and brokerage fees. This is really interesting. I'm interested to hear what the brokers how they approach this topic. We'll see in the article. It never really made sense to me that as a seller, when you sell the home, you've got to pay buyer and seller um, brokerage fees, or commissions, I should say. We'll get into it. That's been the industry standard for a long time. And according to the article, that doesn't happen all over the world. That's more of like a US thing. So the defendants are the brokerage, or the brokers. So we'll see how that plays out. Stock market impact. Following the verdict, shares of prominent real estate related companies plummeted, with Zillow dropping 6.9%, Compass falling 6.2%, and Redfin declining 5.7%. Appeal in further cases. NAR and other major entities like Keller Williams and Berkshire Hathaway subsidiary intend to appeal the case. Also, this case is one of two significant antitrust actions targeting U.S. real estate industry brokerage fees. We will see what happens there. Here's a sub-article: Housing remains America's biggest supply chain problem. That's fascinating. I will keep that one for next time. Next article I thought was quite interesting. $1 billion airport whets Cambodia's appetite for Chinese investment. The Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Manet, seeks more Belt and Road money as Siem Reap facility opens. I have had the great opportunity to go to Phnom Penh and Angkor Wat in Siem Reap, and it is amazing. It's truly amazing. It's an amazing place. My friend and I used to go to Chiang Mai for school in January, 3 Januaries in a row. And we had a chance to go to Cambodia, and it's an amazing place. I haven't been there since probably 2007, so certainly things have changed. I know that there are now casinos in Phnom Penh and where there weren't, but this is the kind of place where you get out of the airport and motorcycle taxis are there to pick you up and charge you about $2 a day to drive you all around to the sites. I'm quite sure that's not the same way anymore. Here are the bullet points. The Siem Reap Angkor International Airport, a new $1 billion facility built by China, has commenced operations, symbolizing Cambodia's growing reliance on Chinese infrastructure. So I have a map here showing, oops, didn't mean to do that, directions from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh. So, frankly speaking, a $1 billion airport right here in the middle of, well, what's in the middle of? Phnom Penh is a big, thriving city. Siem Reap used to be a very, very small town, mainly attracting people to Angkor Wat. So, a $1 billion airport, that's a little sketch. And as we all know, where there are big projects, there's lots of room for corruption and graft. But anyway, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. The Cambodian Prime Minister collaborated with top Chinese state-owned enterprises. They're discussing projects that encompass renewable energy, water supply upgrades, railway modernization. Again, leaving a lot of room for slippery fingers and pockets. Newly constructed airport positioned 40 kilometers from Siem Reap. 40 kilometers from Siem Reap. That's quite a distance for a small place. Replaces a former facility operated by the French conglomerate Vinci. The older airport was too close to Angkor Wat Temple. Here's the temple. Not a great image, but it's amazing. This one's from Wikipedia. If you ever have a chance to go, it's freaking amazing. It's truly amazing. Please take the opportunity. Okay. Back. Okay. Well, that's mainly the thing. This is the map that I showed you. Okay, that is interesting. That is fascinating. I think it's really interesting that China is investing in these projects around the world, and we'll see how that pans out. Some would say that there's a lot of risk involved in those investments, but also China's soft power initiative gives them lots of power over these smaller countries around Africa and Southeast Asia. Finally, this is a really fascinating article by the Shanghai Dispatch in New York Times. This is for China's jobless young people, hostels are the place to be. Any of you who've backpacked around Europe or Asia, you know hostels is a cheap way to travel. A lot of backpackers. Um, Chinese backpacker hostels offering bunk beds for a few dollars a night have become hubs for anxiety and ambitions for job seeking youth. Here are the bullet points. Hostels as job seeking hubs. Backpacker hostels in China cities, once popular for cheap accommodations, are now becoming centers of hope and anxiety for jobless youth. I think we all know that China's youth unemployment rate used to be 20%, 25%. Now the government refuses to share that information with us anymore, and they've asked nobody to ask that question. So you know it's got to be bad. They offer spaces for them to strategize their job applications, network, and share frustrations. Challenging job market. China's white collar job market is hyper competitive with most lucrative opportunities concentrated in major cities like Shanghai. The rapid increase in university graduates and slowing economy has resulted in youth unemployment rate of 21%, as I said. Maybe, maybe not. Not just fresh graduates. The unemployment crisis isn't limited to recent graduates. Experienced professionals, such as former employees of major companies like Alibaba, are also seeking refuge in hostels. I'll walk you through some of this. When I lived in China, I didn't see a lot of this. I think this is fairly new, and it's interesting. The business owners turn to these hostels. I'm sure they've grown a lot. Um, they didn't really, I guess they started being available when I moved out in 2014, but I didn't see too many. These stories are very interesting. I highly suggest you go through this New York Times article. Anxieties, hope, despair. People are, young professionals are talking to their parents and trying to make money. And as you know, I mean, really the social system in China is that women like to marry men who have great jobs, have a home paid for, a car. And so I'm pretty sure that the standards are being reduced now, um, especially because, the male to female ratio is, I think it's 100 males per 112 females. No, backwards. 112 females to 100 males. No, backwards. 112 males per 100 females. So more males. Um, I think standards must be going down if, in fact, Chinese women want to get married and have kids, etc. So these young men living in hostels probably don't um, contribute to what women really are looking for in a man. I could tell you at our factories that we work with, a skilled labor person could make $1,200, $1,500 US, and white collar workers just out of college, after they've paid for college and spent 4 years in college, they're probably going to make about $500 to $800 a month, which is very hard to live in, hard to live with. Um, Hostels are necessary partly because the hyper competitive nature of Chinese white collar market. Here's pretty cool inside, actually. These people probably they pay for a bed or maybe a room for pennies on the dollar. Um, Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. It must be very difficult for these young people. Here are like job posts and encouragement letters, bulletin board at a youth hostel. Okay, not much more to go over here. Here's another example of a hostel. So these hostels are, in major cities where kids leave their home or whatever, and look for white collar work. Okay, this is Patrick Brady signing off for Global Flows. I appreciate your time. I'll keep you informed about great articles that talk about um, global flows, um, the movement of people, ideas, cultures, and goods. Signing off now. Thank you.